going on, guys? This is Jay from the JCast Podcast coming at you with another video. This time I want to talk about the border, the United States border, and Kamala Harris, as well as the Democratic Party's apparent short-term memory as it relates to the border. You have a lot of people saying now, people like Kamala Harris talking about, oh yeah, I have a plan to stop the influx of illegals crossing through the border and blah 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 blah. And the Democrats, a lot of them are like okay with it. They're kind of applauding it, like happy to see that she has a plan. And one of the things that I find funny about that is that, wow, these people are shameless. Number one, absolute shameless. Because when she was running for office, when she was running with Biden for office back in 2019, 2020, they were all like, oh yeah, you guys, allegedly, they were all like opening, like kind of just saying, yeah, you guys can come and why not? And this is a country made for, this is a country made by immigrants. And it is, but, you can't just show up here and walk through the front door without following the process, right? It's got to be a process in place. And, anybody who was trying to talk against that were labeled racist. They were labeled, anti this, anti that. Trump for sure was labeled a racist when he talked about building that wall. Now we have incidents where allegedly illegals and illegal gangs are taking over buildings in Colorado or something crazy like that. And now that this is happening, now that people are actually obviously getting hurt, everybody wants to talk about the border and what we should do to secure the border and this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 blah. They're applauding Kamala Harris because she has a plan, and they're forgetting, which is hilarious, they're forgetting that this was a person who was encouraging people to show up. Her and a lot of people from the Democratic side, from the Democratic Party, encouraging people to show up. They were encouraging people just kind of like almost to just go through, go to the border and get let in and be provided sanctuary and all that stuff. And now they're like, yeah, we got to do something about this. Like, you were here. You were supposed to do something about this a long time ago. And people are like, yeah, she's going to do something about the border. Like, guys, this was one of the main people talking about, yeah, this country is open to everybody and blah, 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 blah. And now all of a sudden, all these people are being affected, now they're talking about like, oh yeah, she has a plan and we're going to do something about this. And, Trump stopped this. And it's ridiculous. People have such short-term memory. People have such short-term memory that is actually... It's actually incredible. Like, people like to quote 1984 all the time, but nobody talks about how, number one, the people who quote that book haven't even read it. Because if they did, they'd realize, like, there was something called the memory hole or something like that, where it seemed as if what they're saying before, or what they were saying before, was never said. And they have short-term memory in that regard, where it's like, oh yeah, she's going to do something about this. She's going to change. She's going to stop the border crossings, and she's going to do this. She's going to do that. She's going to do this. And she hasn't done squat. Even now as VP, when apparently she was assigned, what do they call it, the border SAR? She was assigned and she hasn't done anything. And now, when people are getting affected, now all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're going to do something. We'll see. We'll find a way to change it. And they're not even doing it now. Guys... I get you. Whoever wants to vote for Kamala Harris, that's fine. I get it. You can vote for whoever you want, but at the very least, have some self-respect and don't let these people lie to your face. Acknowledge that they're lying. Acknowledge that they think that you're too, I'm not gonna use the word, to remember that they were saying the complete opposite 4 years ago of what they're saying now. And now all of a sudden they're saying the opposite because it was popular. And people will be like, well, that's a populist take, so Trump does that. Yes, Trump does do that. Nobody's saying otherwise. But these people are doing it also, and they pride themselves on not being like Trump. And now they're stealing all of Trump's talking points. Stricter border guidelines. They're talking about tips that don't have to be taxed. All that stuff. These people are shameless. They're in office talking about what they're going to do when they get in office, even though they're already in office, right? And because Trump wanted stricter border guidelines or a stricter border, people took the opposite approach because, hey, if Trump said it, then that means it's evil or it's bad. And we got to take the opposite approach because that's the morally right thing to do. And now they're seeing the consequences of this and they can't put two and two together. They can't be like, they're not like, huh, uh, yeah, maybe he was right on that, or maybe we should have stricter border rules where people can't just come in here without being vetted. Maybe that's not a good idea, right? It isn't. It wasn't until they were perfectly fine with sending them to Florida and sending them to Texas. It wasn't until Abbott and DeSantis was like, you know what? Send them to New York, send them to California, send them to Chicago, send them to all the places that said, yeah, we'll be sanctuary cities. It's fine. Send them to all those places. Now all of a sudden they're dealing with Chicago. They're straight up dealing with that. The Chicago residents, after fighting for resources for all these years and fighting for it, and watching how these people who just illegally came into the country get all those benefits without even fighting for it. Right? Now the people in Chicago are like, oh no, that's messed up. How can they do this? And contrary to what a lot of other people say, I'm not applauding this. I'm not saying some line of you get what you vote for. That's what you get. No, it's messed up. These people were lied to. These people believed it, and I hope that they do better next time. And I hope that they realize that, hey, these people lied to us. These people took advantage of us, and now these people are trying to act like they don't know what happened, or if they, or like they weren't the main ones pushing for all this to come through, just because it was the opposite take of what Donald Trump said. You know, you have the point of the matter is this: it's been 4 years with Trump. It's been 4 years of Biden and Harris. You guys have to be honest with yourself and say, is your money better now than it was? Right? Is your money much better now than it was before? Is your money much better now than or before than it was now? And you have to be honest with yourself, and you can't let these people gaslight you into thinking that things are better now. Don't let them gaslight you. Don't let the Don Lemons of the world look you in the face and tell you that your life wasn't better 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 6 years ago, acting like they know what's going on, right? Some of these people are so arrogant that they think that they know what's good for your life, having no idea about you, okay? And that's what I'm saying. So I hope this is a lesson to a lot of you people who were totally okay with having open borders and letting people come in unvetted, right? Now that you're being affected by it, I hope you guys make the right decision next time and say, hey, you know what? You can't just come into this country without being vetted. No, you're not gonna get benefits over somebody who's been waiting for them, over a citizen who's been waiting for them for years. No, you're not gonna get the resources from a community that pays into the pool of resources and can barely get resources for themselves. You're not just walk in here and get all that. And it doesn't make you racist to say that. It doesn't make you a xenophobe to say that. It doesn't make you ethnocentric to say that, because a lot of the communities being affected are minority communities, right? It isn't Martha's Vineyard communities. So, guys, think it through, man. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.